Yosef, where are your kids, Yosef? It's so funny because I'm in a building. Here, are we live on YouTube? A good tevach, Rabbi Isai. Good tevach. You can lower that light, Lazi. I have my ganze mishpacha here.
Lower it down or lower the power?
How many people are in Zoom right now?
71.
71 people on Zoom. Wow. Okay. What do we have? First of all, a tremendous mazel tov to Dr. Shamroth on the birth of a granddaughter. Mazel tov. Dr. Shamroth is Menachem Mata's father-in-law. He's a big... So mazel tov to Dr. Shamroth. Oh, and yeah, and Rabbi Leader, that's right. He had a...
Granddaughter.
Also a granddaughter. Mazel tov, Rabbi Leader. Mazel tov, Dr. Shamroth. All right.
Oh, and also mazel tov to
I see you guys. You see me?
To oh yeah, we said mazel tov. Judah David, his daughter got engaged, so mazel tov to him. All right, so we're gonna start with a little bit of email here. So Rabbi Isai, first of all, it's the first Shabbos that we're in complete isolation. Rabbi Langer, Rabbi Langer, mazel tov to you on the marriage of a granddaughter. Mazel tov. I believe it is the first Shabbos, maybe in history, I don't know, that so many shulin, so many bati knesiyos, so many yeshivas were closed down. Not all, I know there's some, but let's say 75% of shuls in the world. Rabbi said everybody hears you, so you gotta lower it a little bit. I know I'm home now and the family's all excited, but they gotta lower it down. I was just thinking one machshava, just one machshava to myself. I might be off. What can we learn from this whole situation for Daf Yomi? There's the famous Zoyar. People say, what do I care if so-and-so does an Aveiro? What do I care if so-and-so does a mitzvah? Kol Yisrael Arevim Zelazeh. The famous Zoyar. Person's on a boat, and he takes a big drill, and he starts drilling in his room, and they say, what are you doing? Gonna bring the boat down? He says, it's my room. It's mine. It's my issue. It's not your issue. And they say, no, we're all in this together. And sometimes you think to yourself, so what if I'm learning a little Torah here? I'm learning a daf. I'm in my house. Nobody sees me. No, it has an ashpah. Obviously, it has an ashpah on you. It has an ashpah on your family. And it has an ashpah on all of Klal Yisrael. And now, for the first time, I feel it. I see it with myself. One guy in China had ashpah on the whole world. And that's l'ra. And when it comes to toiv, it's, as the Gemara says, many, many more times. How many more times? 520 times. If you learn here the hashpah that you have on somebody else, now we see it. Because now we understand what contagious means and how you get infected by something and you can be infected from Torah. So that was just the thought that I had. You said to yourself, what I'm doing here has nothing to do with anybody. Yes, it does have to do with everybody. We're all related. We're all connected. Email, Shalom Uvracha Reb Eli. I want to express my Akar Satoiv to you and your family. I'd also like to thank your amazing team that make this all happen. By the way, this is the first time I finished Shas saying Shir in Chicago, so that's 8 years. Here another 2+ years, 10 years. First time that I had a woman present at my Daf Yomi Shir. My own daughter is sitting here. I don't know what she's doing. Bye-bye! My grandson is here. Okay. I want to express my Akar Satoiv. And thank you, the amazing team that make this all happen. Fine. I want to thank as well, and most important, as you mentioned several times, the Chabura and the entire Chabura. Today, the entire Chabura is online. They're on Zoom. But he wants to thank you guys. And it's because of your showing up, even on Zoom, he says, in parentheses, listening to the count, gives me such chizuk as it does our Reb Eli. Okay, it gives me chizuk. It absolutely does give me chizuk. I never did the daf in my life until I watched the Sima Shas and your 8-minute ad came up and I was hooked. I don't know where it came up, but okay, he saw it somewhere. I guess he means like on Yeshiva World News, whatever, that day. And I was hooked, and he says, on the daily shir. In fact, I made a chasana on Sunday night. Yes, a corona chasana. And I went to sleep at 5:30 a.m. And I would not go to sleep. I told myself to do the daf. All right, that's tremendous. Unbelievable. That's the way it has to be. No matter what, you do the daf. The chasana was a challenge, but a gift to remind me the chesed Hashem does every day. You take something, you take a challenge, and you make from it good. You see the good in everything. You alluded to this in Shir today about something big is going on. I wrote to my daughter, and I'm convinced that the Satan must know something big, as if he's trying to interrupt our Torah and Tefillah. Yeah. We had such momentum. We're doing brachas. Everybody's in. Everybody loves it. It's geschmack. And we said Shabbos is a different type. By the way, are you guys enjoying Shabbos? I'm loving it. Anybody here enjoying Shabbos? Anybody? Rabbi Sai. I got 2, I got 3, I got a bunch of people enjoying Shabbos. Shabbos is unbelievable. The svaras, the geschmack. And then comes the Yetzer. He tries to interrupt us, and we are not going to let him. I'm just ad-libbing it. He doesn't say that. We are not going to let him. May we all be mechazik and limited in tefillah in these unprecedented times. But most importantly, our bein odom l'chavere. Good point. If people are in need and you can help even a phone call to make someone laugh and forget their tzara for a bit, or in Reb Eli's case, a shir that is mechazik to us all. This in addition will be the reason that we'll all be able to eat the Korban Pesach shortly. Amen. I was reminded when I was giving shir in Chicago, this must have been at least 15 years ago, there was a kid that walked in, and I knew his dad. His dad went off the derech and he got divorced. And the kid came in, and we were learning a sugya that the kid was familiar with. And he asked kashas, and everything was good, and he never came back, and he never was there before. So when shir was over, I called up his mother, but she didn't pick up. So I left a message on the answering machine. You guys remember the answering machine thing? It once existed. You leave a message, there's a cassette, you play it back. And I left a message. I said, your son is amazing. He has such good kashas. I didn't even have the answer for them. It was beautiful. He's great in learning. And I hung up, 20 seconds. And 2 weeks later, her father came over to me and he said, I want you to know that she walks around with this tape and she shows it to people. And she cries when she shows it to people. I had no idea. I just left it 20 seconds. That's all it took. 20 seconds, you could call anybody up and make a difference in somebody's life. All right. No jokes. This continues. No jokes. I struggle in these times to make shever brachas. But the daf, nothing can stop me. As I said to my Rosh Hashiva's son at my daughter's chasana, I think he's referring to me. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll take it. You made me have such a yetzer hara for learning. It's a great line. You made me have a yetzer hara for learning. That's right. You read correctly. May Hashem take us me'evel liyoim tov, miyogoin lesimcha. May we all meet in shir in Eretz HaKodesh b'mehera. P.S. I miss Reb Nachman's undertone. Where's Mr. Kornbluth? Is he on tonight?
Yeah, right now there.
Here he is. Do you miss Reb Nachman Seltzer's undertone? Nachman Seltzer sits right next to me and he says every single word of the Gemara. He's not listening now, so it's good. Some people get annoyed. He says he misses Reb Nachman's undertone. It's because of him I repeat every word. And this I don't like so much. And your new mic lets me know when you're hungry since you started the new video equipment. Ouch. Yeah, I have bad eating habits. So now, Rabbi Sai, I can't make fun of my wife. I can't make fun of my kids. I can't say Yishkoyach. I can't see v'chulu v'chulu. I can't even have a growling stomach. I'm done. I'm mamish done. This is Noyer Vayim. Wow. We got a follower from Zimbabwe talking about safaris. Where is he? I forgot his name. What's his name? He's somewhere. Edmore from Zimbabwe with the Israeli flag. Way to go, Zimbabwe. We got South Africa and we got Zimbabwe. And we got Gimel right over there. Shimon Weiss is waiting from Gimel. Hillel's online. All right, you could shut off the thing. Wouldn't miss it. Thank you. Attached is a Corona Shever Brachas in Midwood, Brooklyn. See attached picture. Akiva Eliyahu Boaz. Here's the Shever Brachas that's supposed to be in Midwood. You guys see it? Anyway, so here's the guy that sent this beautiful email. Yishkoyach. One more? Yalla, we're supposed to be learning now. This one is an old one. I never read this one, but I just thought it's funny because it's Motzei Shabbos. Just would like to say that I really enjoy viewing your shir. First of all, the energy, the simcha come right out through the screen. Real Stefansky energy. Then it's a pleasure to look at such a Tzelem Elikim. Tzelem Elikim. Always clean shaven. The hair is always neat. Same suit and shirt. Plus Motzei Shabbos, tie. I had to read it. But really, the way you explain the daf, with all the visuals and what it does, not to leave out all the chevra in the shir, keep it lively. Hashem should bless you with the koyach and time to keep on teaching Torah for many more years, and you should dance at your grandson's wedding together with your wife. But he's the one that sent in the beautiful painting that we already hung at the entrance to my house here in Ramat Bet Shemesh. Zimbabwe, what's going on, man? I thought the Do Not Disturb is on. 30 minutes from Jonathan Stefansky. Is it shutting off YouTube every time he calls?
Sammy's calling. I don't know who it is. I ignore him, but whatever.
And then what happens to YouTube? It just goes back on? Yeah. Sorry, YouTubers. Zok Deile Gemara Daf Tezvav Amud Aleph. Unbelievable. We're in quarantine and we're learning Torah together. Unbelievable. Gufa. We're Daf Tezvav Amud Aleph. Omer Rav Yehuda Omer Shmuel. Shmoina Asur Gazru Ubeshmoina Asur Nechleku. We're talking about Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, the students of Hillel, the students of Shammai got together in the attic and they went through everything. They argued on 18 things, but the halacha came out like Beis Shammai because there were more Beis Shammai that day than Beis Hillel. Vatanya Hushvu. Where's the machlokes? It says everybody agreed to everything. Boy bayoim nechleku ulemochar hushvu. That day that they argued and they had to say the halachas like Beis Shammai, there was a machlokes on all 18. But then Beis Hillel agreed to Beis Shammai the following day. So there was a machlokes. Gufa Amar Ravuna. B'shleisha mekayimos nechleku Shammai v'Hillel. There are only 3 machlokes in between the rebbes, not the students, not Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. Hillel and Shammai. Only 3. I find it fascinating that in all 3, the halacha is like neither of them. Their Talmidim argued with over 100 times that amount. 300 machlokes. The rebbes, only 3. As we're going to see today, what are the 3 machlokes? We have a machlokes, how much dough do you have to make in order to be mafresh challah? And if you have a mikvah, we know a mikvah needs 40 saw, and you're trying to fill it up with 40 saw of rainwater, comes a shnukel and pours in sink water into the mikvah. He ruins it. How much water do you need to pour in to ruin it? And then we have the famous machlokes that we had in Masechtas Nida about Pekida me'es la'es. We'll see it inside. Zok de'elegi Gemara. Here's the first machlokes. Shammai oimer mikav chala. In order to be chayav hafrashas chala, you need a kav. Okay. Much better sound today in Zoom. Great. V'hillel oimer mikabayim. Now, we could either move weiter, or we could talk about this for an hour, or we could do the dumbed down version. It goes like this. The Torah says that you're chayav chala, we learn from oimer. How much is an oimer? Asiris ha'efa, 1/10 of an efa. If you want, you go into the Mesifta or the art scroll. I'm sure there's many different pictures here. Where is this? Here we go. There's something called Asklav Gudu. Asklav Gudu. Efa, Sa, Kav, Lug, Beitza. That's Asklav. Gudu is Gimel, Vav, Dalad, Vav. Fine, go. Memorize this chart. Everything will be great. What's going on here is as follows. We need to come up with a tenth of an ephah. So an ephah equals 432 eggs. If you do with this asklav gudu thing, you do it yourself. 432. What's a tenth of 432? 43.2. Great. How do you remember that? Chala. The word chala. Ches is 8. A, 5 is 43. 43 eggs, 0.2. Now, now, should I tell you about legav and bar? Fine. An ephah is also 18 kav. 18 kav. So, if you take 10% of 18 is 1.8. But we really need to get to 2. How do you get to 2? 10% of 18. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, it does. In Gemara language, they used to always figure once you're done, your final number. So if your final number is 20, 10% of that is 2. In other words, if you have 4, what's 1 out of 4? 25%. But in Gemara language, you take the 1, you put it after the 4, so you have 5. And what's 1 out of 4? 20. 20%. It's a fifth. It's either the total number, or like we do today, 1 is 25%, or 1 is 20%, depending on how you look at it. 1 is 25% of 4, if you're starting with 4, or if you're ending up with 5, so 1 is 20% of 5. It's the same thing here. Ephah is 18 kav. But depending, if you look at it beforehand or after, milabar or milagav. If it's milabar, so you do the final number, 20, you take 10% of 20, which is 2 kav. So that's machlokes b'Shammai and Hillel. Shammai and Hillel argue, they both admit that it's 2 kav. But Shammai says, the 2 kav is for 2 meals. So it's really 1 kav. Shammai in this case are machmir. They're saying, you need to be mafresh challah. A woman, when she's baking challah at home, she has to be mafresh challah even from a smaller amount called a kav. And Hillel say no, only if she makes 2 kavim. Because they both admit that that's what an omer is. A sirus ha'ephah, it's a tenth of a kav. Fine, let's see inside. Shammai omer mikav challah, from 1 kav. V'Hillel omer mikav bayim, you need 2 kavim. V'chachamim omrim, lo k'divrei zeh, v'lo k'divrei zeh. Not like Shammai, not like Hillel. Elo kav umechza, and who's the halacha like chachamim? Kav umechza chayev b'challah. Now, where do they come up with the kav umechza? Well, 2 things. First of all, chachamim don't hold of this milabar. We're not going with the final amount. It's 10% of the 18. So now you got 1.8. But here's something else that happened. They took all the measurements and 6 lug, let's say, went to 5 lug. In Yerushalayim, they decided because of inflation or whatever, they took all their measurements and made 6 into 5, or 1.2 into 1. Any way you want to look at it. The Mela, 7.2 lug, which by the way, every lug is 4 eggs, so 4 times 7.2 equals 43 eggs. 7.2 went to 6. Great. Memela Chachamim have a new shir called Kav Umechza. They're not talking about the measurements that Shammai and Hillel had in those days, which are midbariyos, what they had in the desert. They had something else, Yerushalmi, so it's 1.5 Kav. Next. Meshegdilu Amidois. Then there was another time that there was inflation, and they went back down from 6 to 5 again in Tzipori. So now, Amru Chameshes Revoim Kemach. It went from 6 to 5. Now it's 5. Chameshes Revoim Kemach. 5 lug. A lug and a reva, same. Chayom b'chala. Rabbi Yossi Oimer Chamisha Pturim Chamisha Chayavim. So we could go through, if you guys want, you could stick around and we'll go through the whole Rashi and everything. We'll spend 2 hours on all the midos. We'll go through the Aska of Gudu, whatever it is. Fine. I think the Olam here is very interested in that. All right. So Rabbi Yossi, he says that the eggs in the midbar were slightly larger than what we have today. Slightly larger, we got to add a little bit, 5%, let's add. So if you exactly have 5, no challah. A little bit above 5% more, now you are chayiv in challah. That's machlokes number 1. Let's go to machlokes number 2. V'idach, Hillel omer meloi hin mayim shuvim. You have a mikvah. When I lived in Kensington, I helped build a mikvah in my own house. Check it out on East 4th Street in Ditmas and F. 7, I'm not going to say the middle digit, 4. There's a middle digit there. So I know a little bit about mikvahs. There's a bar hashaka, bar zriya. Now, one of the things we needed to do is, we needed to get water, rainwater, into the mikvah, into the bar zriya and hashaka. Takes time, believe it or not, it takes time. So now, what happens if one of my brothers comes along as it's filling up? You're at 35 saw, and he doesn't have patience. He takes some bottled water, he takes some water from the sinks and pours it in. He could potentially passel the whole mikvah, and you have to start all over again. Once you have arba'im saw, once you have the 40 saw, you can add as much water as you want. You connect it to, that's what they do. They have the one bar full of rainwater, there's a little hole, and then they could switch the water out. Now, how much water from the shu'uvim ruins the mikvah water? Says Hillel, remember Hillel, the famous Hillel from the roof? They found him as a piece of ice on the skylight. That's Hillel, that's the Rebbe. One hin. Now where did you get this word hin? Hin is 12 lug. In terms of Gemara language, you're supposed to say 12 lug, not a hin. He heard it from his Rebbe. Who's his Rebbe? Shmaya Naftalion, the famous Shmaya Naftalion. Who's Shmaya Naftalion? One of the two Gerim from, there were Zugais. Final Zug, who's the final Zug? Hillel and Shammai. Who's the first Zug? Those are the Yossi ben Yezer, Yossi ben Yochanan we had the other day. These are the five Zugas, the beginning and the end. No, you need Tisha Kabim. 3 times the amount. 36 lug. Ruins. Less than 36. Over here, Shammai is Mekel. They say, if you pour in a ton of sink water, even 12 lug, even 24 lug, not possible. 36 lug, only then does it become possible. We don't care about Hill, we don't care about Shammai. 2 guys that used to knit, they would, what's the word? You guys don't know, you guys were born in Israel. 2 Gardim, they knew, you guys know the word. The guys that do this, the women that, weavers, fine, weavers. Knitting, weaving, Mishara Ashpot. They used to hang out, Shara Ashpot, we know where that is, right? We think we know where it is, Yerushalayim. Ve'idu Mishum Shmaya V'Avtalyon, and they said in the name of Shmaya V'Avtalyon, Sheshloisha Lugim Mayim Shuvim Poislim Is HaMikvah. All you need is 3. That's it. Big chumrah. 3 lug, you're done with the mikvah. You got to start all over. V'kimu chachomim es divrayim. Chachomim said Allah is like these 2 gardim who testified from Shmaya and Naftalion, 3 lugim. You have Hillel says 12. You have Shammai says 36. You have chachomim who say, what do they say? Whatever they said, like the gardim. Come 2 gardim, 2 weavers. Oh, halach is like the 2 weavers. For this, Rabbi Say, you have to see the most amazing Rashi. Says Rashi inside, I'm waiting until everybody gets it. Shnei gardim mishara ashbois. Got it? Everybody has it? Listen to this Rashi. Incredible. B'mesechtes Eiduos Mefarish, it explains in Mesechtes Eiduos, Lama huskar shemu mnasim. Who cares what these guys did for a living? V'shem mekayim, and where they live by shara ashbois. Loimar shleimna adam atmai mebeis hamedrash. No one should prevent himself from going to the Beis HaMedrash. She'ein lecha umnos pchusa megardi. There's nothing lower than a gardi. Listen to this. If a person is a gardi, all he does with his life is he sews, he stitches, he weaves, he's a nobody. He can never ever become a king, and he can never ever become a kohen gadol. So if a guy is an electrician, And I'm saying electrician because I was an electrician once for a year and a half. That's how I started off. I wanted to go to the bottom. I wanted to do real estate from the bottom up. So I worked for my wife's uncle for a year and a half. I started off at $9.75. I had 2 children. I got $9.75 an hour. So don't mess with me when it comes to electric. I used to bend pipe in Chicago. You have to do electric through conduit, through metal pipes. You can't just throw wires through a wall because of all the union. So I know how to make a nice 90-degree angle on a pipe now. Probably don't know how to do it anymore. So if you are a garbage man, the lowest of the low, and you're going to say to yourself, nah, who am I to learn Daf Yomi? Who am I to do Torah? I'm just a nobody. What neighbor did he live in the worst neighborhood? I don't even know what it is today. They used to say Harlem, but today it's Choshev. Since they decided to learn Torah, so they're mentioned in the Gemara. They outdo Hillel and Shammai and Chachamim and everybody. The halacha is based on these gardim. It's amazing musar. Nobody should say to themselves that they're low and they're not worthy of learning Torah. Everybody's learning Torah, and whoever learns Torah, we could paskin halacha for Klal Yisrael for generations based on these 2 people. Now, if there were 2 shtuks, just gardim that never learned Torah, we didn't look at them. But because they learned Torah, we look at them now. Zog the Gemara. So that's that. Vidach. What's the third machlokes? If you learn Masechtas Nida with us right before Shabbos, you're very familiar with this machlokes. Masechta starts off with it and just continues throughout the whole Masechta. So I'll say outside, if a woman sees dam, then anything she touches from that point on, any food, we're talking about truma, is tameh. In those days, they were very makbid on tumah. Now, obviously, when the halacha is that the dam is metama a woman when it leaves the mekar, when it leaves her womb. Now, it could take time. It could stay inside until it comes out. So if she sees dam at 12 o'clock, perhaps it left the mekar at 11 o'clock. Maybe it took an hour to get out. So all the food that she touched within that hour should be tameh. So we have a machlokes. Listen to this. Shammai oimrim kol hanoshim dayon chatan. No! From the moment she sees dam, that's when she's metama. Everything before that, even though physically it's almost impossible for it to happen instantaneously, she must have touched something. Let's say we know for a fact she touched a fruit 26 seconds ago. That's tar. Dayon chatan from this moment on. He's so machmer. He goes all the way back to the last time she did a bdika. Let's say she did a bdika Rosh Chodesh Elul, and today is we did a Rosh Chodesh benching for Nisan. All the way there. So let's go back a month, 2 months, 5 months, whenever the last time she did a bdika. Every fruit that she touched, every food she touched in between, tameh. Has corona. If the results of the test come back now, so we have to go back a few weeks. By the way, my shver does not have corona. Fake news. They told me in Chicago he has corona. He took the test and he just got the results. We just found out today. So Baruch Hashem he doesn't. But the Satmar Rebbe does have, so I don't know. Zok the Gemara. Va'afilu liyomim harbe, says Hill. Even if it means many, many days. Chachamim say something interesting. So I'll just say it outside real quickly. They go by the least amount of time. So it's either 24 hours or the last bdika. So let's say she did a bdika 5 hours ago. We go by the bdika because it's the least amount of hours. Let's say she did a bdika 2 days ago. We go Mazel Tov Rabbi Leader. I see you now. Shalom Aleichem, Mazel Tov. Let's say she did a bdika 2 days ago, so we go by the me'is leis. We go only 24 hours back. So whatever is the least amount. Let's see. Ela me'is leis mimayit. It's the least. Ayidei mepkida lepkida or mepkida lepkida mimayit ayidei me'is leis. Ayad me'is leis. So if you do a bdika, that could be less than 24 hours. If it was less time than 24 hours. Those are the 3 machlokes. Ask the Gemara. V'su leka ve'a'ika. What's the first machlokes of Klal Yisrael? The first machlokes that ever existed. We had Moshe Rabbeinu, he gave us the Torah, everything was great. We knew the halachas. What was the first machlokes? I believe it's this right here. If a person brings a carbon nedava on Yantiv, you do smicha. You have to lean all your weight on a carbon's head. But leaning your weight on a carbon's head it'll be like riding an animal. You're not allowed to ride an animal on Yantiv. So what do? To do it before Yantiv, you can't do because it has to be smicha, karev, l'shchit, it has to be right away. Whatever the lashon is. I forgot the lashon. If I had the oilam here, they would help me out. Smicha, let's see if I could. Chaval, we need the lashon, we need the oilam. We should unmute. What's the lashon, Rabbi say?
Take it.
Oh, teikef, very good. Smicha teikef le. Anybody? What are you saying, Mayor? What are they saying? I don't hear. What? Teikef smicha teikef l'shchita. Okay, if that's it, fine. Thank you, shkoyach. Oh, mute them, put them all back. Mute. Bye bye. Yeah, we gotta mute them. Shkoyach Rabbi say.
90 people.
90 people on Zoom. Unbelievable. Wow. We're getting close to the real numbers that we had on Motzei Shabbos. Last week, Motzei Shabbos, we had over 100 people. Okay, so I understand some of you are very, very busy at home. You got to deal. It's hard to learn at home sometimes. The kids are running around. V'chulu. But v'chulu. Hillel loimer. Lismoich. Hillel says, if you bring a korban on Yontiv, you do smicha. V'shama yoimer shaloi lismoich. You don't do smicha. So we have another machlokes. What are you telling me? There's a fourth machlokes. This is an old machlokes. This is the beginning of time, way before Shammai and Hillel. This is already by the Zugah, the beginning of the Zugas. We're not counting a machlokes that Shammai and Hillel re-argue over. This is an old machlokes. Ask the Gemara, somebody who's carrying his grapes. Why does he want to have grapes? Rashi points out he wants to have grapes because he wants to make wine. Versus grapes for raisins. Because wine, I want to have the outcome of these grapes. I want to have wine. I want to have the liquid that comes out. I'm on a flight here. Not on my Gemara. I can always go like this. This is how I learn, but that would be disturbing to. Oh, you don't see it on YouTube either?
No, a little bit.
Okay, great. Thank you. Dark house here. Yeah, but I need it over here. All right. Shkoyach. Corona time. Anyway. We know that in order to make something tameh, and we had it the other day, you have to pour a little water on it. Now, one of the mashkim, one of the 7 liquids, happens to be grape juice or wine. So if you have grape juice that comes out of the grape, it should be mukhshar l'kabel tumah, ready, susceptible for tumah. But that's only if I want this liquid to touch my grape. Does this guy want the liquids to start coming out of his grapes? He just picked them. He wants to bring it to the factory. He doesn't want it to come out in the truck. So Shammai says, because I could use a waterproof kli, I could have a kli with tar on the inside, and it's going to catch all my juice anyways, and I'm going to use that juice, so I'm okay with it. Therefore, Shammai oimer huchshar, it's mekabel tumah. V'lo oimer lo huchshar. No, I have to say I want this. So here's machlokes number 4. Says the Gemara, bar minei dahi, that doesn't count. Doesn't because shasikli Hillel Shammai. Hillel actually admits to Shammai that the halacha is like Shammai, that it is machshir l'kabel tumah, so that's not considered a machlokes. Next, Zok the Gemara, new sugya. If you're just joining us now, and if you just started Shas right now, because you want to do tshuva, and you want to learn a little Torah, because you're in quarantine, and you realize that we need to learn Torah, starting a brand new Masechta. It's called Masechta Shabbos, Daf Tezvav, Amud Aleph. Yosi ben Yoezer ish Streda, v'Yosi ben Yochanan ish Yerushalayim. Who are these? These are the first of the Zugos. They are probably the ones that started that whole machlokes about smicha, not smicha. That's the first machlokes. Gazru tuma alert so am v'aklei. So now the Gemara is going to rip apart everything that we learned the other day. We mentioned it in passing. This exact halacha, that they are the ones that said that dirt from any other country is mitama. Why? We're going to see. Because perhaps, Chaim, there's no talking to your father Reb Mati while we're learning. What are you doing over there? You think I don't see you? All right. It's great. Zoom is unbelievable. Everybody's behaving besides Chaim. Terrible, terrible. Look at that. Avi Gargir, is that you, Avi? That's Avi with his son, and they're behaving, they're not talking. Well, okay, doesn't matter. And Yeshua Aaron Price is still, no, he looks good. He looks like he's not sick anymore. He got the test and he's good. What are we doing? Ooh, happy anniversary, Yosef Bilyak. Where is he? Where's Yosef Bilyak? Wow. Givaldik. Okay. So now, the Goyim are not very careful with the graves. They could bury somebody anywhere. Happy anniversary, not birthday. What are you talking about? Happy anniversary to him and his wife. Great. So, since Goyim are not makbid on marking their caves, so you don't know where somebody was buried, not buried. So we have to be concerned that perhaps somebody buried somebody somewhere. They plowed it. Now there's a small little piece, ke'esem kitza'ira, in the ground somewhere, and you're going to bring this, you're going to hold it, you're going to touch it. This dirt is tamei. And they said that glassware, not plastic, but glass is also tamei. Ask the Gemara of Rabban in the Shmonim Shana Gazur. It's not Yosi ben Yoezer, the Zugos. It's much later, at a different time, the Rabbanon that were 80 years before the Churban Habayis. Uh-oh. Am I stuck?
Just turn off the camera, turn it back on.
On my screen, it looks like I'm stuck. Lazi, do me a favor.
Oh, it's the computer froze.
Everybody's on. I see everybody. Uh-oh.
Wait for the froze. No, don't close it.
I don't know. It's froze.
Maybe it's the internet. Do you guys see me or not? Up or down? See me or not?
No.
You don't see me. But they can hear me.
All right, I'm going to shut it down.
Restart.
We're going to restart. They could hear, but they can't see. I see you guys. That's very interesting. I can see you guys. Oh, wow.
See something on the laptop.
But Rabbi said we have to move. We have to keep on moving because YouTubers are still watching. Don't forget about YouTube. We have 91 guys on Zoom. How many guys do we have at 10?
People on YouTube, but we had 97 the highest, I think. 97.
No, this is not good
Okay, go
for...
on.
Let me remove this. Okay.
Everyone's back?
Everybody's back? We're on? You hear me? Yes? Hear me?
Wait, not yet. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, you're muted?
He's watching on YouTube. He showed you on YouTube. You're going up and down on YouTube.
You cannot.
What do you mean I'm going up and down?
Because you're not the host.
Like that.
Who's calling me? No. What does it say? Who's calling me? It doesn't say who?
You said,
Number?
okay, well, here. This is back up. Go.
No, but he's muted.
It's muted.
Because you're on a different. You have two Zoom sessions running simultaneously.
You guys see me or no?
Only one.
Zoom there.
Only one.
Close one now.
Participants.
They don't see me.
No, they might see you. They don't hear you. They can't hear.
Return to meeting.
See, no volume. You're muted and they.
They're leaving the middle of the night.
The Eitzahara, Rabbi say, ay. How's it going, guys, on YouTube?
He's listening on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on.
so.
For some reason, it
Oh, he's
Please
doing
announce.
the Yitzhahara.
here, just tell me what you want to do.
What's the Eitzahara move?
No, it's showing that it's going.
Right.
Oh.
On YouTube.
He says it's on. I saw somebody say it's on. Avram Lewis said it's on.
Joseph,
Looks like we lost.
It's on. Okay, we are on, but we're not the host.
They're muted.
They're
Did
muted.
they hear you?
Could you hear me? Rabbi said, could you hear me?
they can't hear you, so
Thumbs
they're
up
not going to
if you
do
can.
thumbs up or thumbs down.
Could you see me? Could you hear me? Hear me? See me?
Hold on 1 second.
Apparently they can't hear you.
Okay, let's restart the meeting. Yeah, Yeah, let's leave this meeting. Hold on 1 second.
He's saying no.
Okay, 1 second. Leave the
Let the
meeting.
tech guys.
Yitzhak Hara is having his way.
Nick,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, leave the meeting. Now let's. You see, I have no current meeting. I'm gonna try it now. See if you're on.
Hey, wait, go back to that.
It's not. It's not.
That's
This is it.
it, go back
See
to
if you're on.
Here, maybe we should show them what's going on YouTube so they chap. Bear with us 2 minutes, we'll be back, Bezer Hashem.
Is there a meeting section now? Do you see him anywhere?
Hello.
How are all these guys on?
Okay. Okay, مشروع طبعا شاي.
It's not. You can't become the host.
I cannot become the host.
Oh, now, good.
Okay, we are on?
Yeah.
We are on.
The host?
Volume, good, great. Let's do this, Rabbi Isai, new sugya.
Sorry.
I told you it's a new apology. Why did it happen? We don't know. We're very new to Zoom. I apologize to everybody on YouTube as well because we have 90-something people on Zoom, so we had to be considerate to them. Yossi ben Yoezer, straight of Yossi ben Yochanan Yerushalayim, goes to Ma'aler Tzam Baklei Schuches. Ask the Gemara of our Rabbanan the Shmanim Shana Gozer. It's not Yossi ben Yoezer, it's somebody else. The Rabbanan 80 years. What does that mean? Domer of Kahana. Kishachala Rabbi Yishmael Rabbi Yossi, when Rabbi Yishmael, the son of Rabbi Yossi, became ill. Shalcholoi Rabbi, this is the famous Rabbi Yossi. So they wanted to hear before Rabbi Yishmael leaves this world, they wanted to hear from him what his father said. Maybe there's something new that they didn't hear. Shalcholoi Rabbi Yishmael. Tell us at least 2-3 things from Rabbi Yossi. Shalach lohem kach omer Abba. This is what my father Rabbi Yossi said. 180 years before Churban Abayis, the second Bayis. Pashta Malchus Rishal Yisrael, the Romans came in there. We could already feel that they're coming. 180 years before. Shmoinim Shana Achali Chorav Abayis. And 80 years beforehand, and this is what we're talking about, the Rabbanon of 80 years. This is where it is. Gozru Tuma al Eretz Amim Val Klei Schuches. They're the ones that made a gzeira of Tuma on Eretz Amim, Val Klei Schuches, and on glassware, which we are not going to be discussing that much. Arbaim Shana Achali Chorav Abayis Goselo Sanhedrin V'Yashol B'Chanuyos. And 40 years before the Churban Abayis, Sanhedrin, the 71, they moved to Chanuyos. Next door, not too far away, next door. Here's somebody in a car. That's unbelievable. I like this. The guy's learning Zoom in a car. I think his name is Eli. If I could read his name. Yeah, that guy.
Eli Lavi.
Very nice. Beautiful.
He doesn't want to be with his whole family until he runs to the sun.
He's in a bidud in his own car. What's the difference right now where they moved to? Omar Reb Yitzchak Baravdimi Loimar Shloidonu Dine Knossos. There's no more penalty dinim. If somebody owes kafel or any kind of knas, no more. Dine Knossos Sakadaitach. Why not? Bezdin, you don't even need a Sanhedrin. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but you don't need them to be where they are. Elo'ema Shloidonu Dine Nefashis. Now, by the way, in order to do Dine Nefashis, do you need a full Sanhedrin of 71? No. Even the smaller 23 one could do it. However, once the main Sanhedrin moves from their Lishkas HaGazes, from their place they're supposed to be in the Beis HaMikdash, even it's next door to Chanuyos, no more Dinu Nefashis. Okay, so we have a question. It says, Rabbi Yossi said right before he died, that his father said that the Chachamim, 80 years before the Churban, they're the ones that instituted Tumah on the dirt of Eretz Ha'amim. So Mamela, why are you telling me it's Yossi ben Yoezer? Why are you telling me it's the Zugos? So if you're going to tell me that maybe the Zugos, Yossi ben Yoezer and the other Yossi, they were both in the 80 years before the Churban Abayis, but Tanya, make sure that YouTube is on, because I just heard something on YouTube. But Tanya Hillel v'Shimon Gamliel v'Shimon. So Hillel Azaken, who we discussed, his son, These are the Nesiim. It went in, it was a Yerusha, it was like Rebbe's. This is where the Rebbe's get it from. Hillel, and then his son, Reb Shimon, and then his son, Reb Gamliel, and then his son, Reb Shimon. As Rashi points out, this is Reb Shimon from Harugi Malchus. Only their grandson was the famous Reb Shimon ben Gamliel later on. We're not talking about him. These four, Nahagu Nusiyoson Lefnei Abayis Me'eshana. The 100 years before Churban Abayis Sheni, you had Hillel and his son and his grandson, his great-grandson, Nisim. No, that's Hillel. Who was Hillel's Rebbe? Shmai and Naftali. They were one before the last of the Zugos. And Yosef ben Yezer is 5 before them. So it can't be that Yosef ben Yezer was in that time. 80 years before the Churban. They were way before, hundreds of years before. Couple hundred years maybe. Says the Gemara. Way before. 4 dairas before. However long a dair in those days was. Says the Gemara is going to make a few attempts until we get to the final attempt. Elasu inu gozer agusha. Yosef ben Yezer was gozer on a lump of dirt from Eretz Amim. What? Lisroiv, to burn. Va'avira v'loy klum. So basically what the Gemara is going to do here is say that there was different stages of the Gzeira. This stage right here, the attempt that the Gemara is saying right now is very difficult because when you make such an attempt, when you make a Gzeira, you want to be careful that people actually obey by the Gzeira. They go by the Gzeira, they don't make fun of it. You can't make a Gzeira she'ena tibi yicholim lamid bo, or they just ridicule it completely. When you have Truma, when Truma gets Tameh, becomes Tameh, you have to burn it if it's the Raisa. But to tell me that a Truma that touched a piece of dirt that came from America, because maybe a guy buried his grandfather in his backyard, and then some other guy came with a tractor and plowed it and made a matzah meal out of his grandfather's bones, and you have a little tiny piece of his bone, and people are going to say, what? And for that I'm going to burn my Truma? Because that touched it? Gemara says, yeah, in the beginning. Now, you are airborne over America, nothing happens. There's no oil, there's no anything coming up out of the ground. So many years later, what did the Rabbanan and Shmonim Shana do? Gazer avira litlois. They said, you know what, let's add something. Let's say that if somebody was in the airspace is also tamei in Chutz La'aretz, in America, in England, and in Zimbabwe, and in South Africa. You have to be toila. What does toila mean? That's typical. For any suffix d'Rabbanan that you have on Truma, you toilet. You let it hang. You don't burn it. You just leave it. Burning is like extreme. As the Gemara of Arma Ilfa, Yudayim Tchilas Gzeiros and L'Sreifa, we learned yesterday. Right when they instituted the Gzeira, that you have to wash your hands before you touch Truma, or any hands that are not washed and they touch Truma, you must burn it. But that's a one-time thing, and that's only by Yodayim. Out of the 9 things we learned yesterday, only Yodayim was so strict that you burn, right? Maybe not. No. Maybe I make a mistake. Back upon him, yeah, it says Yodayim l'sreifos. The Gemara understands that Yodayim only and not afar chutz la'aretz. Yodayim v'detchilas gzeros l'sreifa hamedi achin eloi. Says the Gemara, also inu gazur agusha litlois v'avira v'lei klum. So, new attempt. We have to say that Yosef ben Yoyezer, the first zug that ever existed, they instituted a gzeira, and they said that dirt is not to be burnt. It's only litlois. We're going to make a gzeira. Perhaps somebody's buried in there and there's a little bone. If it touches my truma, don't eat the truma. What do? Put it in a box, set it aside. Va'avir v'lei klum, and the airspace, nothing. And then came another stage. Gazer agusha lisrif, they added. Now, once you, like Bibi, right? Boy, I think it's a good idea not to go out of the house. And then all of a sudden he hits you with, don't go out of the house. But not completely. You could go if you want this to that. And then tomorrow he's going to come, and then he gets us good, and we're in the house. It's like Mitzrayim also, you go slowly. You don't You don't just jump in and tell the Olam, hey, you have to work 24/7 and make me teven. You do it a little bit. Badraga. Okay? Ask the Gemara, wait a minute. There's a third step here you forgot about. You forgot about Usha. Usha is many years later. It's not even Yosef ben Yezer. It's not even the Rabbanim of Shmon Shana. It's later, after the Churban, Usha. It's nan al shishos tvekos sarfin es hatruma. You have to burn the truma because of 6 svekos that we have. Al sofek beis hapras. What's a beis hapras? The famous field that, according to Rashi, there's a grave buried in a field and we don't know where the grave is. Tosfos asks, that's in the Mishnah, that's one of the 3 cases of beis hapras. That happens to be a doiraisa. I like to say, says Tosfos, it's the Rabbanon. It's where they buried somebody and they plowed it over, and now you're dealing with small fragments of bones. Fine. But it's beis hapras. But the whole beis hapras is a suffix. You don't know where the either, according to Rashi, you don't know where the grave is, or you don't know where the pieces of bones are. That's our sugya. All dirt from Eretz Ha'amim, dirt from Chutz La'aretz, you have to burn truma. And where's all this? In Usha. Val Sofik Bigdei Amoretz. All clothing of Amoretz that touches truma, burn the truma. Why? Because maybe the Amoretz's wife sat on the clothing. And what is that called? And she's a nida. What is that called? Medris. Tumas Medris. She doesn't even have to touch it. She said, that's why we say all our couches today are all Tomei, Tumas Medris. You find a vessel. Oh, look what I found. In those days, a kli cost $1,000. I'm just making that up, but it should cost that much. A guy had to sit there. Can you imagine pouring the metal and shaping it for hours? So if you find a kli, and you don't want to do a Shabbos Aveda, but you have to assume that it's tummy. Maybe someone that's tummy touched it. If that kli touches your truma, burn the truma. Ooh. Spit is really bad. It has corona in it. But more importantly, it might have ziva in it. You don't know. Maybe a zav or a zava spit, and that's a tumah, that's avatuma midiraisa. So if that touches my, when I was a kid, I lived in Farakaway. That's the only thing I remember. I remember the non-Jews, I'm not going to mention what kind, constantly spitting. I don't know, it was a thing then. I don't think they do that anymore. Every 2 seconds, people are spitting. So mechtes it's a zava, maybe it's one of those clowns. No, I have to assume that maybe it's a ziva. V'asavik may ragli odom. Now, may raglayim is also one of the liquids that comes out of a zava that are tomei midiraisa, the avatuma. But what happened here is you found it right next to may ragli behema. May ragli behema of an animal are not tomei. So now you have really a sveka because you have, it could be what you're looking at here, this urine you're looking at could be from an animal. That's one suffix. And even if it's a human, it could be not a zav and a zava. That's a suffix. It physically touched, you have to burn the truma. Al vaday magon, if you certainly touched, val suffix tum ason sorfen es truma. So you burn the truma. Rabbi Yossi Omer, afal sofik magon, and he adds a piece here, and this is really a sfek. You have a piece of dirt that came from Chutz La'aretz. This piece of dirt is a huge suffix. I don't know, maybe there's a piece of bone in here, maybe not. I mean, the chances are very slim, but it's a big suffix. And now I have a suffix if I even touched it. Look, I don't know, maybe yes, maybe not. But now because of Corona, we can understand what the problem is. If somebody's a suffix, you put them in quarantine. You do bidud, no? A lot of time. I mean, it hits home a lot better now. Yeah, what's the big deal? It's tummy, it's suffix. No, suffix, you got to be careful. Tumah is worse than Corona. We don't know why, but it's worse. So we know the concept that anytime you have a suffix tumah in Rishus Harabim, we had it in the beginning of this Masechta, tar. Rishus HaYachid, tamei. And here we have a double suffix. So what do you do according to Rabbi Yossi? Al safek magon b'rishus hayachid sarfin. You burn the truma on this sfek. Wait a minute. Don't be so fast to burn. Let's do a tliya. Let's put it aside. Rishus harabim, like we always do, to hayrim, because the suffix rishus harabim start. V'amar ulo, elu sheish sveikos bu'ushois skinu. What happened over there? Okay. These 6 sveikas were in Usha. So what are you telling me that this Chachamim, that 80 years before the Churban, or it's the beginning of the Zugos, 200 years before, and let's say, this is way later in Usha. This whole concept of dirt from Chutz La'aretz, that's Tameh. Says the Gemara, okay, let me make it straight here. This makes a lot of sense actually. The beginning of the Zugos, they took the dirt and they said, let's make it talui. Let's not burn it. Thank you, Nachman Yishkoyach. Let's not burn it. Mordechai. I'm thinking about Seltzer. Let's not burn it. Let's put it aside. Va'avir v'loy klum, and don't do anything about the airspace. Nothing. Va'asu rabbanan d'shmonim shana, later on, 150 years later, 4 dairas later, Gazer Agusha Lisraif, they said, okay, let's up it up a little bit. One step more than what we have until now. Until now we said, this fruit, you can't eat the truma, but don't burn it, put it aside in a box. They said, no, let's burn it, let's make it like a dairaisa. Oh, va'avira k'dekoi koi. Oh, did I just skip? Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, nobody's here to fix me. Nobody here. I could have mamish messed up, and all these guys are going like this. Rabbanon said both. We got to step it up. So what do? They didn't step up the touching. They stepped up the ear. Ear space now became the same like touching. Idi litlois, even ear space is tameh, is metama. What way? So if I take an apple and I go like this over chutz la'aretz, now the apple I cannot eat. I don't burn it. I put it aside. V'asu b'usha. And the third takana. Yes. So in fact, every single one of these things is right. There was a gzeira from Rabbi Yossi ben Yezer. There was a gzeira from Rabbanan of Shmonim Shana, and finally there's a gzeira of Usha. Each one took it to another level. V'asu b'usha gazer agusha lisraif. They took the piece of dirt and said instead of it being taila, you actually burn it. Va'avira k'dekai, but they didn't take up the airspace. So what do we have? The final thing. What do we have today? Dirt from chutz la'aretz, you burn. If you touch truma to the dirt, you have to burn the truma. But if your fruit went in the airspace of chutz la'aretz, all you do is you put it aside. You don't burn it, but you cannot eat it. My time it goes over Rabbanan Tumah. What's wrong with glassware? Why is there tumah? It's not mentioned in the Torah. Because glass is similar to kli cheres. How do you create glass? With sand. And therefore, it's similar to a kli cheres. Shavinu rabbanu ki kli cheres. I didn't have a chance, Be'ezer Hashem, for tomorrow. I want to make a chart of the differences between earthenware, a kli cheres, and a kli barzel, metalware. What comes to mind is that a kli cheres is metama metoichai. We're going to see tomorrow a lot more. If I stick an avela, if my hand is a mouse, and I go like this inside my cup, then my cup, without touching it, my cup becomes tameh. Whereas a metal, let's say I have a becher, and I do the same thing, I put a mouse into my kiddush cup, it doesn't become. What else? If you have pshutei kliyates, you have flatware, pshutei klicheres is not metama. Pshutei barzel is. What other things are there? There's about 4 or 5 differences. Okay? We're going to see some of them here. Now, also earthenware, once it becomes tameh, you don't go to the mikvah. There's nothing to do with it. You could break it, and then it will become tar. Now you're dealing with a broken kli. Metal, if it becomes tamei, you dunk into the mikvah, and it's tar. So now we just compared glassware to earthenware, because we said that glass is created the same way earthenware is created, with sand. Says the Gemara, Shavinu Rabbanon Cheres, they made glassware like cheres, like earthenware, and therefore they said it's tamei. So ask the Gemara, if you're going to say that glassware is like cheres, now you have to compare it to cheres in everything. We know you can take a glassware and dunk it in the mikvah and it becomes tar, but you cannot do so with earthenware. But if it's like earthenware, because it was created like earthenware, you shouldn't be able to put it in the mikvah. And how do I know I can put glassware in the mikvah? It says in the Mishnah, what creates a chatzitza? Meaning, if I put a kli in the mikvah, it's not a good tvila. Something that I care about, something that's on top of my kli, and it bothers me. I don't want it to be there. That'll create a chatzitza. Hazefes, tar. I put tar on my kli. I don't want tar there, and the water never got to my kli because it's preventing the water. V'hamor b'kli zchuches. Oh, it says glassware in the mikvah. So I could put a glass in the mikvah. Just make sure there's no tar on it, there's no mar on it. So could you put a glass in the mikvah or not? If you're comparing it to kli cheres, I shouldn't be able to put it in the mikvah. What's wrong, Eli? What? I mean Levi, not Eli. Levi's saying something's disgusting.
We're ready.
Oh, you're ready with your guitar. Hold on, we're not done. 2 more minutes. Hold on. I didn't know. That's a nice surprise, but yishkoyach. Rabbi say stick around on Zoom and we're going to have a shtickle kumzitz, he says. But I don't know, he's going like this. Why are you going like this, Levi? That's why I asked. I saw you. Don't think I'm not watching. Okay. You're right. Says the Gemara, glassware does not go into the mikvah. What happened was, I had a little hole in my glass, and I want to fix it. So what do I do to fix my glass? I stoop it up. I put a little lead, and I put the lead into my hole. Can you imagine how I used to live in those days? I have a nice glass, I'm a l'chaim, but there's a little hole here. Don't look, you put your hand to cover it. But my glass turned, why? But it's glass. No. According to Rameir, we're looking at a metal kli. He filled it up. He filled up the hole with lead. It's all. What is a kli? Whatever keeps the kli together. If at this point in time I wouldn't have a kli because I didn't have my lead, so the lead is what's my kli is a piece of lead. Unbelievable. And with that, we're going to be finishing today. Now, what? According to Rameir, this kli is tamei. It's mikabel tuma. According to Chachamim, it's tahar. We don't say that this glass is a broken glass, like a broken piece of cheres. No, you have to go by the maimed, and the maimed you have a piece of. How do you say, avar, lead. You have a piece of lead that's holding up my kli. So now my kli turns into a metal kli. Have a wonderful week. If you stick around, we're going to have some fun now. We're going to schmooze it out. We're going to have a little bit of a kumzitz. Yeah? Levi, you ready? Where is he? Undo everybody. You can leave it on for a few minutes if you want.